Hello everyone, welcome back for another video tutorial. For this video, we're starting the new chapter. Chapter number 4 is about entity framework. Normally for any business applications, when we talk about in terms of database connections, we need to have some kinds of the connection that would allow us to save the data to the database. Now, inside .NET Core ASP version 2.2, the framework or the technology that would allow us to do this is called entity framework. So in this case, you can design your business entity as the data class, and whenever you would like to make changes, then you make it in the code. This is what we call migrations. So whenever you have migration, you can apply your migrations into your actual database server. And with this, entity framework is going to make changes in the database structure automatically. So that's the beauty of entity framework. Now to demonstrate this one, I'm going to use the file that I have for the class website. It's called entity framework, okay, Excel file. We are going to follow the step-by-step instruction over here in order to set up our project so that our project can work with the database. Okay. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to set up the connection string. So let's go ahead and copy here and then put it inside your startup class. So go to your startup file and put it here as the data field. Now this connection string will be used during the setup of your MySQL server. So in this case, we are going to connect our web applications with MySQL database server. So there are 4 informations that you need to supply. So the first one is the IP address of your server, which is the same as, in my case, is the same as my local machine, so I use localhost. The second piece of information is the name of your database. So in this case, I'm going to call project1. And also for the username and the password, I'm going to just leave it as root and root over here. Okay. Now to make sure that my database server is up and running, I have to open up my exam. Okay, you can use your favorite tool for this. Could be AppServe or direct connection with MySQL, or you can use exam for this. So I'm going to start up Apache here and MySQL, and I should be able to have access to this using localhost/phpMyAdmin. You can see right now that there is no such database name project1 here yet. Okay, so we're gonna leave it as is. And then we come back to our discussion here. And what we need to do is, first, after we make the connection string here, we're gonna have to register this connection string during the this time. So this function will get called when the server is start up, and this is the place that we register to use MySQL server as the database tier. Okay, so in this case, you can simply copy this code from here, line number 25 to line number 32. This file, Excel file, is available on the class website. Okay, so you can check it out in the video sections. Alright, so let's copy this and then put it here just before service add MVC. And then I'm going to tab it here so that this one look a little bit more organized. So over here, what we see is we use the service instance here to say, hey, we want to register for this context. I'm going to explain about this context later on, but allow me to say that, okay, we will have product DB context that will work with the MySQL server, okay, under this database name. And over here, we say that we also want to use the callback, that whenever this function got registered, it's going to call this callback and register the service to work with MySQL. Okay, so the first input parameter is of course the v that I set it up as the connection string here. You can use any name as you like. And over here, you can also specify the specific version of your MySQL options. Okay, I'm going to leave it as is. Now, after this is done, then the next step is we will need to register over here we're gonna need to add this dependency in our projects. Okay, so you can copy this and then go to your project.cs project here and put that one here. So previously this is not there. Okay, so you need to include this one. So previously this is not there, so you just have to include it. And after the inclusions, then you have to open the new terminals and then find the command .NET restore. This one will go ahead and download required dependency from the server. Okay, so I'm going to do it now here. So it's going to download and then put everything in your required folder. Okay, so once this is done, the next step is we have to actually create the DB context class. If you remember, we say that this is the class that is the representation for the database entity. Okay, so over here I'm gonna need to go to the loose folder here and then select new folder, and that folder name is data. I think I already have one right here. Okay, so previously this is not there, so at the beginning data is not there, so you just have to create it. So just say data. Now inside the data folder we create this product DB context class. So right click, new file. Okay, one more time, data, new file, and then call product DB context.cs. Okay, so in here I'm gonna need to put namespace of the namespace is project number 1 dot data. Okay, so inside this we put public class, the name of this class, which is product DB context. This class will be inherited by DB context as well. Okay, and okay, so over here this is the class that is used to represent the database project number 1. So this is end of class, this is end of the namespace. Now in here we have to say that we want to create a link to a database, link to a table. Okay, products. Now in order to specify this in this context, we say public DB set of the products, just products, and the name of this table will be products with S, and we also use get and set. Okay, all right, now also if you save it and you're trying to build the project for now to see if there is error messages, it's going to show error message right here saying that DBSS is not available. And so in order to fix this one, you have to say using Microsoft dot the entity. So let me do this. So I'm going to search this from the website. So namespace .NET Core. Okay, so from the documentations we can reference to Microsoft Entity Framework Core. So let me copy this and then go down here to my code and Control V and semicolon and save it. Now if I build it again, so it's going to also give me one more error message saying that the product is not available. Now you can see that in your code you are referenced to this product class, so you're gonna need to import. So using project one and import the model folder because that product class is located in this folders. Okay. All right. Now over here we say that we have a context class that will work as the database. The database that we're talking about is the database name project one, which is not available yet. But when it's available, we say that we also want to make a reference to a table products which is not available yet as well. Okay, but this is to say this one is used as the representation for database table name products. All right, so once this is done, you also need to also if I remember correctly, this is good enough. So what next is we have to go to your terminal here, and now we're gonna need to create what we call migration file. The migration file will be used so that whenever we apply database update, it's going to update the database to have the database name project one. It's going to also, if not available yet, it's going to create the new table products, and the structure of the new table will be according to this structure. Okay, let's take a look at how to do this. We say .NET EF migrations with S add, and now you're gonna need to say something about your first commit. So I'm gonna say commit number one. So this will be used as the name of migration file. So let's go ahead and enter it, and the program will look at your product DB context. Okay, the reason for this because we say that we register the database service connection with this class, and when they look at this class, it's trying to locate the table that they want. Now there is one thing that needs to be fixed. They say no database provider has been configured for this DB context, can be configured by overriding DB context on configuring method or by using add DB context on application service provider. Okay, so let me make sure that this is correct. So let me go back to my setup, and the name of my context is product DB context. Okay, I think this is correct. It's already product DB context. Okay. Let's see what else that they put it in there. They say internal ALR provider can be configured writing DB context configure. Oh, one more things. Whenever I create this DB context here, I'm gonna need to do this. So if we look at the reference, we also have to create the constructors. So inside the constructor here, okay, we specify the name the same as the name of the class, and this is the options. Okay, so we have to put it this way. So we put this DB context options inside. This is going to be the name of the class as well. Okay, and we also have to put the end of constructor and constructor. Now save it again. Alright, this is to tell that we want to bootstrap the applications, sorry, the MySQL Server applications with this database. So now if I make it one more time here, see if this is working. Alright, they still say that build failed, so that means I might have some error in terms of the build. So I go to .NET views one more time, and it's gonna show me the error message saying that project DB context could not be found. Oh, instead of projects, now I'm gonna have to use products, not project. Okay, because we register this as product DB context. Okay, alright, save it. Now let's to make sure that there is no error, let me double check by calling .NET builds, and there is no error. So now I can call .NET EF migration again. So this command will add a new migration file in your projects. One more thing, they say unable to create an object for different pattern support at design time. So let me check. This is DB sets of the products, DB contact option, product DB contract, product DB context, which is already good. Now let me look at products here. Oh, it's already there, and we still do not have migration file available after this process. Okay, let me search for these error messages. Okay, so let me check to see if what is the cause of doing this. Cannot make migration patterns. Okay, it seems like we found a solution. Did I include everything that I needed? Okay, DB set application context. Yeah, look like it's look good. Okay. All right. Doesn't seem to be any things that catch my eyes for any fix. Okay. Okay, let me try. I did not save it correctly. Let me save all first. Save all file, and then do another migration again. Okay, this is build fail, so .NET build. They say there is an warning, which is it is inside line number 29. Okay, line number 29 is that for my SQL, no accessible extension method like startup 29. So 29 is this. Okay. Okay, so in order to use this one here, I might need to include the namespace. So let me search for namespace here. Okay. Alright, so what if I include this one at the top? So up to this point, do we have this as the beginning entity framework extensions? We do not have it yet, so let's save it. Now let's review the project, and still the namespace MySQL could not be found. I think so too, so this is not the one that we are looking for. I think I have an example. Let me take a look at my example file about how do I reference to. Okay, so this is available right here. So let's go to my data drive, and it is available under this one, the project here, and the startup file. So let me copy this, edit plus. Okay, so we're gonna need to resource to this using. Okay, so that is what we need, I think. So copy this, and now I can Ctrl V, save it, and then build it again. Okay, so they say that the option builder does not contain definition for use MySQL. So let me double check with something else. We have extension. Okay, core, MVC, entity framework core. How about entity framework core here? Do we have it yet? So I think we do not have it yet. Okay, so let me include this one, two of these right here, and build it again. And now still namespace product db context could not be found. Oh, this is the different error. So in order to include this one, you're gonna need to say using project one dot data. Okay, so allow me to include this. All right. So that means we need to use this as well. See? Okay. And that should fix our error. Okay, so this story we learned that in order to work with entity frameworks, you also need to include this to import for your startup class. Okay, so now after the view error message is gone, you can go ahead and issue this one more time to see if this time we get migration file. Hopefully we get one. Okay, we got the migration folder finally in. Now you can see that it's also create couple file here with the name commit one. Okay, now this is not make any changes to our database server yet. You can see there is no project name, there is no database name project one. So what we need to do is we have to go to the second step and say .NET EF, okay, database, and update it. So after this update, then you're gonna need to make sure that whenever this happens, they say access denied for user root localhost using password yes. Okay, so that is because my setup over here is not correct. So what if I just put password equal to nothing here, because I'm not sure what is the password that I have in my machines. So I'm going to put it that way. Okay, so no, so let me try. Okay, see if this is the one I use. I could not remember this password on my machines anyway. Alright, here we go. So that's the password. So now over here I have already made the migration upgrade. First, okay, I issue these commands to make migration file. Now after that file is available, then I issue command .NET EF database update. This update will take this file and then talk to the server and then make changes over here. When I say make changes, mean it's create the project database for you. And if you look inside, here we go, we got the product table without having to create this manually. By using migrations, if you go inside, you can see that the structure of this table totally match our business entity here. If you look at products, we have ID as integer, name as string, so it's mapped to long text in database. We also have QTY to map right here, and the price for double. Okay, so for this video tutorial, we have gone through couple error messages and how to fix it. Okay, so if you go back to startup here, that reviews what we did so far. We include connection string here. We also register the service for DB contracts. We call it product DB context, and we say that this context will work with MySQL server. We also went into the project1.cs project here to add this dependency. After you add dependency, of course, you're going to need to also .NET restore to download dependency from this related entity. After this is done, then Ajahn also go to the went to the project root and then create the folder data and then create the DB contract class. In this class needs to be inherited from DB context, and also we need to include this at the top. Okay, so this is understandable by them. Also, we have to include the reference to the table. So whenever you put product here, it's actually working with the database server and is trying to, for example, if there is no such table available yet, it's going to look at this and look at the structure of the products and create the table automatically for you. We also need to make sure that we have the constructor here to support the constructions of your context. And after this is done, we also make sure that in startup, okay, we have to include this import at the beginning here. That is required to support, okay, both the product DB context and entity framework core. And this is the one that is used for the connection between our web server and MySQL server. Okay, and there is two commands. The first command is used to create the migration file. This file will be kept inside migration folder. After this is done, then we issue the second command, which is .NET-EF database updates to let the system take this migration file, talk to the server, and make changes. In this case, because there were no any project one database yet, so they create one for you. They also look at your database context here and found out that, okay, there is one table link that we need to take a look. And in this case, since the first time this table is not available, so the migration process also create this table for you, and the structure of this table match the business entity of your products. You can see that in this methodology, we did not go into the database to create our database first, but what we did was we just create everything in our code. This approach is what we call code first database design. So you design your business entity as the class, and then you make migrations to make the effects, to make changes in terms of data structure for your table. Okay, this is really pretty long video tutorial. I'll see you all for the next one. Thank you for watching.